How's it going, and welcome to the Try Time podcast. Stay tuned for your weekly dose of rugby league chatter, discussing what's happening in the world of rugby league.
Hello, welcome to the Try Time podcast. I'm Callum.
And I'm Matthew.
And here we are with our new podcast for the 2020 season. Some of you might know us from the Between the Sticks podcast last year, which we had 3 episodes of, but we scrapped that. We've gone a bit bigger production, camera, audio, microphones, everything for the 2020 season. So I hope you enjoy it. We're going to be speaking a lot about, today we're going to be speaking about the GB tour. We don't want to go back to it too much because it wasn't the best, but we just want to speak on it.
Well, depending where you're from.
Yeah, depending where.
Might be good if you were playing us.
Yeah, if you were from Papua New Guinea, you'd have loved it. But we're going to then speak about just a bit of fun, like speak about the kits for next season that have been released and just talk about them. And then we're going to have another pre-season one, which is going to be based on like predictions, but there's still some signings to be made, still some stuff to come out. So obviously we'll have that coming up. But yeah, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, so without further ado, we will kick off on the Great Britain tour. Great. Not the best occasion if you are British. Now,
no, definitely not.
There's been a lot that's gone round as to where this has failed, whether it be in the squad selection, in the coach, or just generally, was it all bad luck?
Yeah.
I don't think it was luck.
I think a lot of people have put it on Wayne Bennett, and I think in a way you can, but also you've got to look at what he's done for England, like how good have England been these last few years since World Cup. We got to the final, played well at that World Cup last year against New Zealand, absolutely destroyed them, and it was looking really good. And then this year it just hasn't worked out. Whether that's selection, injuries, or just the whole sort of idea of the GB tour being lost, which I think definitely could be said. I just think it's hard to put it all on Bennett, but I also do feel like his time may have come to an end, and we maybe need some new, fresh, young sort of English blood in there.
I mean, was the squad, in your opinion, good enough to beat New Zealand?
I think injuries stopped it from being the best it could be, but I was still optimistic. We played, I think Tonga first game, we played Tonga. I was like, we should.
We got scored by Tui Lolohea. Did you watch him at Headingley? That's a worrying sign.
I know, and I've seen him at his worst, definitely, at Oddsall, especially in that game. But we won't speak about that right now. So, definitely thought we should still beat them. Even if we'd have lost to the Aussies twice and beat the other two, Tonga and Papua New Guinea, I'd have been like, it's not ideal, but we've still done the job, but we just look completely different.
My question is, Ryan Hall has played, I don't even know how many games
maybe,
last
season. I think it might be 8, 9, 10.
I could count it on my hand. And he's still managed to get a call up.
I know, and then you're looking at
We're playing Blake Austin on the wing, flying Ash Handley 20 odd hours over the world, a winger, for him to just sit on a bench and watch that performance. That's not a call, that's a punishment.
Yeah, it's
Who
not.
Who do you blame for those tactics and that squad selection?
I guess you've got to say Bennett, and that's what I mean. But I've heard about him saying he's sort of like he's just trying to get his best sort of players sort of tested for the World Cup.
But if that's his best players, worries me, because the World Cup is 2021.
Yeah.
Is a Ryan Hall that's going to be 2 seasons older, a Jermaine McGilvery 2 seasons older, James Graham as captain? It's the same squad that lost to Australia back in 2011 nearly, 10 years later.
It's one of them where
we're still ringing the same names out. Whereas for the Aussies, for example, Billy Slater's gone, Cameron Smith's gone, Thurston's gone, Lockyer went ages ago, but still.
They've still got them new, they've got the new
refreshed.
Coming through. Definitely, and I think that's why people are saying Regan Grace haven't been picked. That's got to be on Bennett, because Bennett has come out and said about he's picked his Great Britain squad based on England. That's why I haven't picked Regan Grace, because Regan Grace is Welsh.
It's
that's
Great Britain squad, and you've omitted the Welshman,
who probably should be in there.
What was Great Britain about this squad? You had Lachlan Coote, who's represented Scotland, who is actually an Aussie. And that is it. The rest of it is an England squad.
It depends where you stand on that debate of should Jackson Hastings have been in, should Blake Austin, should Coote
I'm all for them being picked, but it just
seems disjointed.
Player in a Great Britain squad is an English squad with an intruder.
And he's not even properly.
He's not even properly Scottish.
And the point is, it's like what they tried back when they stopped the Great Britain. They were like, we need to strengthen the other nations like Scotland, Ireland, Wales. That's why they stopped it. And I think it has strengthened. You saw it 2017 World Cup, like Ireland looking good, Wales. I mean,
Ireland were never in the Britain squad, and if it had have strengthened, would we have not seen more Scottish, Welsh talent in this team?
Ireland, Wales, Scotland have definitely improved over the last 5 years, but the players that they play with are English players that have got heritage in them nations. So they are not Scottish. There's some of them that are, but like a lot of the Irish team. Sort of, especially for someone who supports Bradford, so we're in the Championship, I knew a lot like the Irish Welsh team at the World Cup because they either play for the Bulls or they play against the Bulls.
I mean,
so
names that come to mind for Ireland: Brad Singleton, English; Tyrone McCarthy, I believe he's English. Oh, Mullally, English.
Yeah,
they're not Irish native players.
I can't remember the name. Oh, McIlroy. He played for England.
Oh, yes.
He played for England and France. So it depends where you land on that sort of debate, I think. But the nations have improved, but not enough to improve GB because the Irish team turned into
England rejects.
England B team and mixed in with some players who who wouldn't make it, like some Bulls players who like. Joe Keys, who played for Ireland in World Cup, is like he's not going to make the England team.
Maybe 10 years ago, but now I think it's clear if you're selecting players from Bradford Bulls, they're not good enough to play at a top level nation.
I mean, all right then, that's a bit. All right,
you've got your digging about the Challenge Cup. I'm getting mine.
So if you don't know, Matt is a Leeds fan. I'm a Bradford fan. So
we are recording this in Leeds, which I'm
a Bradford fan, but I don't know if I'd want to be. Walking we're in a glass building.
There's a reason he's not covered his Bulls shirt. Let me put it that way.
We're in a glass building. If we were on a glass building in Bradford, they'd definitely get some
It'd be smashed already.
yeah. It'd already be shattered. So
also, we're in Leeds. You probably can't see it because we have a very strange orange and yellow wall behind us, but
audio listeners, this ain't going to mean ought to because obviously you can't see us.
Oh yeah, so. We'll stop talking about the landscape for those that are maybe on Spotify or Apple. If you are, we have now got a YouTube channel
as well.
Give it a search, Try Time Podcast. We're going to be covering things, like we say, weekly once we get into the season, and we're hopefully going to have a few short snippet videos to come out in between now and round one. And if you are enjoying the podcast so far or further on, click like on the video, subscribe. You can tell we're on YouTube now, plug in this.
Yeah, I know.
Sound like every creator ever.
So if you're listening to this and you're listening to it on your way to work, and you've got to spare sort of 10, 15 minutes, probably what time will be, we're just going to do some short videos maybe so today we're going to review Super League kits, we're going to do a Championship and League One sort of top 10 sort of thing. We're going to do that just as a YouTube video, not as part of the podcast, so make sure you're checking that out when it's out. But yeah, back onto GB. That were a bit.
This will happen quite a lot. The sidetracking. Get used to it.
So it's one of them where it's thinking about GB. It's like, where do you go next with GB? Do you go sort of scrap it again altogether, or do you keep it going as a sort of it's instead of England, or do you have it alongside it? So I see how they do it in Union, which obviously. Don't really want to speak about Union, everyone's opinions on Union if you're a league fan.
Crikey, it's like wearing a Bradford shirt.
But like the way they do it every 4 years, and they go and they do a tour of I remember watching the New Zealand one a couple of years ago, I think it was, and they went to New Zealand. They play all of the club teams as well as in the midweek, and then they play on the weekend. They play the test against New Zealand.
It's a good idea, but having Great Britain getting absolutely spanked by the wooden spoon NRL team is probably not a good look.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's exactly what we should do, but I think that every 4 years it should be a thing that other teams think the Lions are coming this year.
So more periodic rather than...
So they do it, they do New Zealand, and then they'll do Australia 4 years after, and then they'll do South Africa. I think it is South Africa this year, not this year, 2021. I think it is, or it might be 2020. Don't hold me to that. I don't know my union.
Don't really care
I don't know my union too much, but that's a good idea. But obviously, there's Australia and New Zealand. They would be the two sort of teams, unless you went. Say they should maybe.
Well, it's like now we've got Ottawa, New York coming. How long before we have the GB Lions North America tour?
Yeah, why not? Why not have not a Pacific one? I think you should have an Australia one, but I don't exactly know how playing against clubs would work with it being obviously in the off season, so I don't think that would necessarily work. But maybe just I don't know how
you can rebrand it and make it more of a spectacle.
I mean, you could
in that
definitely
sense.
do it and be playing against, like, say, Indigenous All-Stars. Right, laptop's gone off. Give me a second. Go on, Matt. Right, we're fine.
Cut that bit out.
So, like the Indigenous All-Stars, teams like that, the NRL All-Stars, like sort of put together teams, even if it's just like state of origin teams, they should, like, teams like that.
The floor with
they might do, but you know, there should be like, we want to do that. And
yeah.
I think, right, I'm going to put forward what I think for like the international calendar. So,
Oh, God.
I think you should. So next year, England, Australia sort of test series happening. That's fine. But right, I'm going to go from what I think should happen from the 2021 World Cup. So you should have the World Cup in 2021, and then obviously the next World Cup after that, 4 years after. That's fine. World Cup runs smoothly, I think, definitely. That's fine. So in 2022, I think you have the Four Nations. So you'd have England, New Zealand. Well, Four Nations, obviously, with now who is the fourth nation with all these Tonga and Fiji being really good. I think you should definitely have New Zealand, Australia, England. Definitely England, not Great Britain. Make it England. And then you should have almost like Four Nations, but have it as like maybe have 3 sets of Four Nations from teams in the World Cup. So you maybe have England, New Zealand, Australia, probably the 3 best. Then you have Tonga, for example. That's your Four Nations. That is a strong Four Nations.
I think you can make that even better and start going for more Australia, the Australasian team, Australia, New Zealand, PNG, Tonga, Great Britain. Hopefully, eventually we will have more North American All-Stars. That could be something going forward. Obviously, that's not going to be viable in the immediate term.
Yeah, definitely not. Not immediately, anyway.
In which case, you could potentially then go Australia, New Zealand, Pacific Islands, Britain.
Yeah.
Combine those to give them more of a representation. Eventually, you could potentially argue there's room for a European team in there, especially considering how many...
The sort of coming out, yeah.
The same way we've talked about having fringe English players representing Ireland, this happens a lot of European nations with a lot of Australians as well. The names of Josh Mantellato, Italy, come straight to mind.
Definitely.
James Tedesco.
Yeah, Tedesco. Well, he played for Italy, didn't he? And then when he was good enough for Australia, he was straight in the Australia team.
That's maybe more of a contentious one that we won't go into.
Yeah, but there's stuff like that.
Today,
but I think, so World Cup, then a Four Nations. But my idea was Four Nations, so you qualify, you got your top 3, then you qualify for the 4th place, and then it's like a tier of four nations. So you'll have maybe second group, it'll be Ireland, Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Samoa, and then you might have one with Scotland, Wales, Lebanon, and France. There you go, 12 teams in that. I think that'd work smoothly. Even Nations League football, how they do it. So if you come bottom of the top 4 nations for the next time, which will happen in my sort of estimations in 2 years' time after that, it'd be an every 2-year thing with this. You would then make, so say Tonga come bottom of that group, top group. Tonga then get the next one, they'll be in the second group pull down.
And say France have won pool 2, they take their place.
And then it'd work like in that sort of system between the 3 groups.
That works.
And I say in 3 groups, you've got your sort of Jamaicas, your Greeces, you've got like American USA team, Italy as well. We've said it can go further down and it can work like that to give teams sort of like, it's almost like your promotion relegation.
It gives you something a bit more to play for if you're not one of the big boys.
Because imagine if you got Australia have a bad year and then they're in that second group and it's like them other teams you play.
New Zealand the other year, they lost to Tonga and England at the World Cup.
They've drew to like Scotland in Four Nations before with New Zealand. It's one of them where I think that would work, but
you have a team like New Zealand in the second split. Let's say Malta have an absolutely fantastic year and get promoted from the third. That is a huge game for them.
Yeah.
You don't see that currently. Is it maybe less of a spectacle for New Zealand, perhaps, but
I think it's one of them.
Rugby League overall.
I think it gives it something. It gives it something other than just friendlies. Or England are playing New Zealand in a 3-match test. That means absolutely nothing. It's like you love it when England win them like last year, but it's like, what is it? You haven't won anything. You've won. What is it? Baskerville through. I'm not even.
I mean, you won a series that Richie Milo was selected in the squad for. That's how meaningless it is.
Future guest Richie Myler. That's not happening anymore. Right, cross him off the list. That's not happening. See how many other players Matt offends that are ex-Leeds players. Well,
he's still a current Leeds player.
And
if he wins our Player of the Season, watch how I will just change completely.
So you've got 2021 World Cup, 2022. What I would call is like Four Nations, but we'll call it Four Nations, but rebrand it to the way I've said. So you got that Four Nations. Then you've got what year that be? 2023. That's when the Lions. So you've got these teams. So players who were playing for Ireland want to impress, so they can get picked in this Great Britain team. Scotland, Wales, exactly the same. Then you've got a Great Britain squad, which I was thinking maybe they should have minimum requirements of each country, but half of teams are from England anyway. But try and get as much diversity in there anyway. A completely different coach than any of the other coaches, specifically for this, picking off of form. And then you play the tour, so you can go. I would say first one that you do, go Pacific Tour, and you play. Say you play a free test Lions series against Australia, and then 4 years after you play New Zealand like that. And then when you're down there, you play Papua New Guinea, you play Samoa, you play Tonga, you play Fiji, you play Australia Prime Minister 11 or whatever. 30, Prime Minister 13 or whatever it is. You play like
11.
I know. You play like their international teams or like sort of county teams in that area. You just play a load of games. You play twice a week, once midweek, once on weekend, and you take a squad of about 30 players and you just absolutely smash it out. Players will love the journey. You're there for about 6 weeks.
Clubs won't, because there'll probably be at least 1 or 2 injuries. But
you know what?
It happens in Origin.
You know what? It is what it is.
Are you going to get us demonetised in the first episode?
I just think that'd be a good idea. I think that'd work, and then the year after that, you've got your Four Nations again. Four Nations. I think that'll. I think my idea of it would work. Then you've got another World Cup after the Four Nations, which would be 2025. So that is that. So next year we're not changing that Australia talk. Australia over here. To be fair, I can't wait to go. I'll go to at least one of them games.
Yeah.
And watch it. I think it'll be really good. I think we'll get beat, but I think it'll be good. Good to see them beat Australian names in person. Definitely.
I think that leads us on to a good place to round this section up, actually. Australia next year, should Wayne Bennett still be in charge? One word, yes or no?
I can't say one word.
I'm saying no.
I think it's no, depending on who they would hire, which I guess
is a lot more than one word. That might be one for another podcast if Bennett is not
If Bennett gets on. But right, all right then. So you want to do this one word stuff. One word. Who would you want as Bennett's replacement?
Based on who's available right now, Sean Wayne.
Sean Wayne. Right, so now I have to say my one word, which I can't even think about. I hadn't even thought of this.
Well, you've really worked this well.
My one word, chunky. Right. No, I'll go... You know what? It's going to be Danny Ward. It's out there. It's out there. Right, so we've spoke about GB. We're going to take a quick break now, and then we're going to be back on judging the kits for next year.
5 minutes later.
Right, welcome back to the Try Time podcast for part 2, where we're speaking about the kits. Matt has more knowledge on this than me. I've looked at the kits, but Matt's got a list. He's made a list.
I have ranked them. It's worth noting that some of you might have seen that we did put a poll on this out the other day about who had the best home kit, which is what I'm just pulling up now. This may be quite a case of people voting for their own club's kit. I'll start from the bottom, and interestingly, Catalans are apparently the worst home shirt, according to...
Yeah, well, that's because they've got no Catalans fans.
That's because there's no fans, yeah.
Can I just make a quick comment as well?
This is a slightly biased group based.
I just want to say thank you to everyone. I put a post in there on the same night as Matt put that, asking about away kits, or any kits really. I just put, what's your favourite kits? Give us some funny stuff, and I got absolutely zero engagement. No.
Thanks to the over 400 people that voted on my poll, you are absolutely brilliant, and we already know who's their favourite presenter.
Yeah, all right then.
Although, to be fair, I'm the one that pisses off all the players. So
that is true. And everyone hates the Leeds fan, man. Right, anyway,
yeah, I'll give you that one.
Go on, get on with it. Come on, let's get what's this.
I'll go through the fan rank very quickly and talk a bit more in detail about the ones I've ranked, what I do and don't like about them. St Helens coming top, Hull second, Wigan third, That was Hull FC in second, rather. Hull KR fourth. Close together.
Hull KR.
Right, now I've managed to annoy one player and he's annoyed an entire fan base. Plus he's a Bradford fan, so he's going to want to get punched by most of them anyway. Leeds in fifth, our favourite position to be. We know what that means, we're winning this year. I wish. Warrington, Wakefield, Castleford, Huddersfield and Salford rounding out the top 10. It's worth noting Toronto yet to release any of their 2020 shirts, so we're unable to take an opinion on those as of yet.
Yeah.
Leading into this, I will start with the home shirts. As we say, Toronto will have to come. P12 is the only team yet to release a home shirt.
And I don't know.
Or an away shirt.
When they release it, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be.
I think I can guess what it's going to be like. It's going to be a white shirt, black trim. Probably going to be a grey wolf on the lower part.
Right, I'll hold you to that, mate. I'll see what it is.
I mean, that's what I'd suspect. There might surprise us.
I would agree with you.
Assuming it's along those lines.
Unless they go out
mid-table.
there. I mean, they might go out there.
They might do. It's a nice, smart shirt. It'll be upper mid-table.
It'll be alright.
Into the teams that have actually released, and I'm going to have to agree with the fan group on this. Salford, for me, are 11th.
Oh. Is this the home kit?
This is the home. Salford have only released one kit.
Home kit.
And they've released one kit, and they've not done it, in my opinion, very well.
Salford home kit, one of the best kits.
You like it?
I love it.
What do you think's the worst?
The worst kit right now, you're asking me off the top of my head, because I know what they all like. If you read out every team, I looked at them.
This is where it forgets which teams are even in the top flight, considering they've not been there for 5 years.
Yeah, right. So, actually, yeah. Why
London have been relegated now, by the way, just in case you.
Who do I think is the worst kit?
Who's the worst home kit?
The worst home kit, Hull KR.
Interesting. Salford at the bottom for me. I'm not a big fan of asymmetric kit designs largely, and this is a prime example of this. I think the big white splodge across the middle, effectively,
I like it.
The sash.
I like it.
Would be okay if that was the only colour on it, and I'm not a fan of the railroad tracks coming down the side in red.
Yeah, man.
I don't quite know how to describe that.
Embrace it.
It's an abstract kit, and you're probably going to see they don't tend to be my favourites.
Yeah.
Particularly with the third best team according to you lot, Wigan, taking my 10th place. Again.
Oh, I don't like. It's all right. It's like mid-table for me. I haven't actually done a ranking.
It'd probably be all right if I don't like the part on the shoulder. Again, asymmetry. You're going to see me an abstract kit's not the biggest fan here.
I think with that, you get them to look good on the picture, but then when the people are wearing them, they can look a bit out.
And the weird offset stripe that randomly goes up one side of the shirt. For me, it's not Hummel's greatest work.
Yeah.
Sorry to all the Wigan fans out there. 9th, I'm going to annoy one of my very close natives, Castleford Tigers.
The home kit, I'm not a fan of really, because I think it's just I like the
third kit,
the yellow one.
Yeah,
that's like old school cast, isn't it? That
For me, the orange comes too far down. There's not enough black on the front of this shirt.
Yeah.
There's enough black that it's a prominent colour and it isn't just a plain orange strip, but not enough to make it look tidy. It looks to me like they've tried to merge about 3 different shirts into one kit.
Yeah.
It's something different. They're not rehashing kits, but
I think
for me it's not the one.
If Cass can sort of like just embrace that third kit, which is yellow, on like a Friday night, classic Cass Friday night, wear them kits.
I remember back
some retro.
2011, Rangi Chase Castleford.
Oh, they would do.
The year they ran us to a golden point in the Challenge Cup.
I just think they should embrace it on some that's retro.
That was such a nice kit.
Take it back, man. Just have fun with it, yeah.
Throw it back a bit.
Home kit, but I think they will wear the third kit a lot at home, so I don't think that home kit's going to get much seen to.
We'll see. We'll see how it happens.
But
for me, Warrington next up. I'll keep this one nice and short. The sponsor Hoover is hideous. I've tried not to judge them too much on the sponsors because you can't help who's paying you money at the end of the day. For me, the V comes too low down, and there's the weird yellow and white wolf claw marks down the side of the kit.
Yeah, you gotta love it. I think it's alright. I don't know.
It's a bit tacky for me. I also think the sponsor logo at the top of the shoulder with it having green writing, again, it just doesn't fit going across the V.
Yeah. That's alright.
We're getting a bit picky. That's how we're having to...
Yeah. Oh, it's your list, man, not mine.
It's my list, yeah.
Wakefield
coming 7th. Again, ASUS not the nicest sponsor, but we try to overlook that. A lot of people loving this kit, saying it reminds them of the old GB shirts, but for me, what made the GB kit so nice was the blue and red trim.
Yeah.
And that's what Wakefield haven't done.
But they can't copy it too much.
They can't copy it too much, but for me it looks like it's been bought off a market from the Far East as a fake.
When do we get on to ones where you're praising these kits?
Pretty soon. I'm getting quite savage.
Because if you're a fan of Wakefield...
Well, this is going to be the turning point, because Hull KR have somehow snuck to 6th with a kit that looks like every other Hull KR shirt I have seen in a long time.
They haven't changed it.
It's a classic design, and the red stripe is simple. It's largely effective, I should say.
I
like the badge this year.
They look old.
They've changed the colour scheme of the badge to give it much more of a... I don't quite know what the best word to describe it is. Rather than having the block red colour, it's now the red outline. I think that suits the shirt. The Drain Company is not a great sponsor. Now, as much as I'm not judging them by sponsors, that is weak. And I will, if they do end up in or around a relegation battle this year, I can see many a pun being made about that shirt sponsor.
Yeah. But
so, for the sake of the whole KR fans being ripped, I hope it doesn't happen. But
all these really bad sponsors are just, if you want to support the podcast, make sure you watch, tell your friends, listen, watch, and then maybe we can be a sponsor on a shirt.
That's the worst plug I've ever heard.
We'll be a sponsor. You'll have Try Time podcast across it. You'll have a picture.
And Callum's going to pay for this out of his own money, by the way.
Honestly, everyone.
I'm from Yorkshire. I'm too tight to pay.
I'm from Yorkshire.
You support Bradford, so you're just a fake Yorkshire now.
Well, I'm definitely less privileged if I support Bradford than you are.
We're not going into a class war about which is the richer place, Leeds or Bradford.
Right, go on, next one.
Speaking of Leeds, I've also put them 5th. I agree with the Facebook fans here.
5th?
5th.
Oh, so you're not going to be too biased then?
I do like our shirt.
I do like it.
But my problem is, I liked it as Sinfield's testimonial shirt. I liked it as his record points breaking shirt thing.
Yeah.
How many times are we going to rehash the same shirt and expect fans to buy it?
It looks too much like an away. I don't know. I feel like
it's lost that blue and amber heritage. Yeah. But for me, the fact we've seen this shirt twice before, and it just so happens to be when Sinfield's back again that we release it.
Oh god. It's alright, mate.
There's a lot of points off for that. It's so unoriginal, which, to say it's so different to everything we've had for years, I should be praising this, saying it's out there, it's original, but it just isn't. And it's not a classic either.
Yeah. You might get a good cup run this year, you don't know. You might not get
Well, we're in 5th, aren't we, so we're going to win the Super League.
Hey, at least you won't get knocked out of a cup at Odsal this year, you'll get knocked out of Dewsbury instead.
At least we have our own stadium, and it's one of the nicer ones in the league.
Yeah. Right,
keeping with the praise theme, I'm going to go for St Helens in 4th, who have very much stuck to true tradition with this
I do like
shirt.
that St Helens, it's smart, I do like it.
I like the block red on the top.
Block red, I was saying that to you on earlier.
Yeah,
block
we were discussing these on the way down.
Yeah, block red works.
The red sleeves provide a nice contrast. Okay, Cash Converters isn't the best sponsor. But it kind of it is in red. It does suit the colour scheme of the shirt. I think it could be a lot worse. It's quite a nice shirt, and to say that St Helens do a red V every year, it's refreshing to see a nice one.
They had to mix it up.
Rather than one that you just think this is the exact same as.
Yeah.
And now this is where the St Helens fans tell us that all the years they've had a very similar shirt to this, but
I like it.
I like it. Yeah, don't attack us too much. We're actually praising the
I know,
kit.
I mean, as well, if you're Cash Converters, Matt's just give you a shout out. Every single sponsor he's slagged off here, he's giving a shout out. So I'm just saying these people aren't paying us to.
Well, speaking of slagging off sponsors, it comes to my 3rd place team, Huddersfield. The Bondit logo
I like that Huddersfield kit, I think.
I love the kit. The sponsor's a bit.
What is it, Bondit?
Average. Yeah.
Bondit.
For me, the thinner yellow stripes on the maroon look a lot smarter than what we've seen the last few years. It suits being a thinner shirt. There's got sponsors up the top, but they don't encroach on any of the kit designs. And that, it works a lot better. It's all in white text, contrasting the maroon. It's the subtle things that make this kit a nice shirt.
Yeah. It'll
Whether
look nice
Huddersfield will be nice to watch in it.
Well,
is
I mean,
another
you
matter.
probably won't have to watch them because they're never on telly, Huddersfield. I think they're on telly about... You get
And you
to
won't
see
get-
Huddersfield about 3 times on Sky.
I mean, I'd say you'd all go down to watch them, but
I'd
we
actually
all
like
know
to see
their
them. They've got
attendance figures aren't up to Super League's
Aiden
best.
season, oh man. I think it'll be class.
And now I've gone to annoying entire fan bases. You've started on Hull KR. Actually, it's a good point. You started on Hull KR, I've started on Huddersfield. They're a lot nearer to where we're recording.
I
In
don't...
a glass building.
Hull KR, I'm fine with Hull KR. It's just I have a little bit of a grudge against Hull KR from when the Summer Bash, like whenever it was, like 2 years ago, when the year we got relegated. The year we got relegated, and then the beat is just. It's more like just because
Do you hate Wakefield for beating you from game?
Exactly the same. That is exactly the same thing. I just that's why.
Peasant League.
That's why. But obviously that's like Leeds hate Bradford because we beat them like in Cup. We absolutely destroyed them and we're
We
championship.
don't care about you anymore.
We're
You're
championship team.
insignificant. You've not even got your own
We
stadium.
haven't even got his own team, to be fair.
I'm
No,
gonna
that's
say-
a different podcast.
Actually, this is a good point. You're slagging off OKR. They've given you half of your squad.
They've took half of our squad, actually. They've took half of our squad. They're not even going to play them. They're all in I-20s on squad numbers. What's the point? And they're going to play for Dewsbury on dual reg. When are we going to get them back?
You're going to get to watch them every week playing for Dewsbury at your home stadium.
I can't be bothered. That's it. I don't want
He's
to
had enough. He's
I don't
off
want
home.
I don't want to
finishing this
speak.
bit
I
on my
don't want
own.
to speak about Bradford anymore.
Good, because we're moving on to a team not even in the same country as Bradford. This is where it comes down to, I think, fan base, because for me, this is a very nice Catalan shirt.
Yeah. I like it.
V across the front, the red merging into the yellow.
I like the yellow as well.
It embraces the Catalan colours. It's a bit nationalist, but I quite like that.
Why not? If you're saying Wakefield is like JB kids,
Yeah,
it's different.
exactly.
Like, embrace it, man. You're only French team in Super League. Embrace it.
Again, contrast on the different collar and sleeve edgings with the yellow and the red. And you see on the shirt, the V's are almost in layers, going from a really bright ice white down to more of a grey colour. And the way that it merges down is very effective, in my opinion. Again, classic sponsor. We've seen... I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it.
I'm looking now on your phone. I can't even see what it is.
It's the classic Sud de France.
Sud de France, Leisure de L'Occitane.
I'm pretty sure it's pronounced L'Occitane, but
L'Occitane, he knows him.
We're probably completely wrong on that. O'Neill's, you've had a nice kit, and we're going to stop speaking French for the sake of anyone who might be able to speak it listening to this.
If you can speak French,
yeah, please tell us how it's pronounced in
contact us.
phonetic alphabet.
Tell us, let us know. Yeah.
This is going to be
Keep watching.
literally about 5 French names every week now, but
Yeah.
if we don't talk about your Catalan, it's because we don't want to offend your players by pronouncing them wrong.
Je m'appelle Callum. Welcome to the Try Time podcast. There you go, right?
This is your
Next
entire test as being Try-Time podcast. You've got nothing else to say.
You've got to plug it, man. Right, come on, next
Not
kit.
when no one's listening.
Next kit.
That leads us to the best home shirt this year.
Bradford
Controversial.
Bulls.
You're not in Super League. Thought you didn't want to talk about them anymore.
Yeah. But the kit's nice. But yeah, Hull FC.
In my
Hull
opinion,
FC.
it's the worst one for the last few years, but whatever, we won't touch on that. Hull FC, he has ruined the spoiler. Second on the fan league, first on mine. There's a simple reason why.
Nice.
Monochrome strip, it works this year. All the sponsors are in white, on the black, with the exception of the shoulder sponsor, black on the white. It just looks classy, it looks well finished. This is one of the best ISC kits I've seen for the last few years.
Yeah. What's the sponsor on that? Is it decent?
Atropa. I don't know who they are, but it doesn't look hideous. Tell you what else, if you look very closely, towards the edge of each of the white stripes there's a black dot pattern that gets more...
It's like a gradient in it.
A dot gradient all the way to the side of the shirt.
It's going to look good, that.
It's a classy feature that sets it apart from a lot of other Hull FC strips we've seen.
Yeah.
Which, when you do have black and white stripes every year, it's difficult to make something that...
Yeah.
It's easy to do it wrong, but hard to do it right. It's a bit like St Helens.
Yeah, it's like a lot of these teams have mixed it up a bit, which I think I like.
You see it and you think, well, it's worse than the shirt we had 12, 24 months ago. It's hard to do it and then think, actually, that's one of the nicest kits in the league.
Yeah.
When you constantly think, getting mocked for saying, oh, it's going to be black and white stripe.
Black and white.
Look at Hull KR.
It's just going to be it's same
It
old.
looks
That looks like last year's
shirt.
kit. That's different, but Hull KR's kit does look like last year's.
And as such, it's ranked mid-table.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, in my mind, it's
Fair play to Hull FC for managing this one.
Oh yeah, I do like it. I think that's going to look good.
Shall
as
we
well.
touch very quickly on the away kits, or shall we save that for a...
You go through your 5 away kits that you think your best 5 away kits.
Okay, I'll cut out the ones I'm not. I'll go through my bottom and my best 5.
Yeah.
I'll start with the top 5. For me, Warrington were 5th. Basically, it looks a lot like a Bournemouth FC football shirt.
I forgot what it looked. Oh, it's that one. Oh,
It's
I do
that
like that. I like that.
I like the kit.
But
it
you don't
doesn't
like the
look as
Hoover.
nice on the players. Sponsor logo, it fits a bit better on this, having the red.
Yeah, definitely. It does.
I'd have liked to seen a bit of red on the sleeve. The outside of the shirt's a bit too black, but the gold edgings are smart. Black and gold, trusted combination.
Tune.
JPS Lotus F1 car vibes.
Oh, here we go. F1.
And a nice black and white monochrome sponsor badge. Classy shirt. In 4th, I went for Hull KR. Callum's best mates over here.
Right, what's he looking at? Is it
Navy, red stripe. Again, it's similar to what we've had before.
They've had that before, I swear.
But it's a nice shirt, and they've got rid of the Drake
Yeah, it's
company,
alright.
so
I
there's
like-
a point for that.
What, so they have different sponsors?
This one is Jelf, which is very weird to say on a podcast, but yeah, it's a nice shirt. I don't know who the kit supplier is. I don't recognise the badge, actually. Is it Oxen?
That's what I don't know.
I'm not sure. Whoever it is, fair play. I think it's a nice shirt. There's nothing to argue
Is that
with
four, is that
anyway.
they 4th or 3rd?
They're 4th. 3rd, speaking all about asymmetric kits and that, Wigan I've gone for in 3rd place.
I do like that Wigan kit, actually.
It's a nice design. I think the idea's
I
classic.
don't know about the sponsor. I know
The
what you
sponsor
said.
doesn't
the
help.
yellow
The
sponsor
bright
on the
yellow.
black. If that were like a nice, I don't know what colour, but
If it were even in like a different coloured box, like a white text would probably look better on this, especially with the Hummel badge centred.
yeah, definitely.
There are things I don't like. I do think when you look at it in the flesh, it might look a bit dark, particularly compared to Warrington's black and red.
Yeah.
But certainly on the pictures we've seen so far, it looks quite a nice shirt. And this is the only time I'd really say the asymmetric pattern works quite well.
Yeah, I would agree.
Second, there's a running theme here because again I've gone for Catalan.
Is it the 2nd or the 3rd kit?
I haven't considered 3rd kits.
Oh,
on
that
this
2nd
one.
kit is
The
nice.
Catalan
That's
3rd
nice.
kit is.
Catalan have got the best 3 sets.
Assuming it's the blue and red one we're thinking of in the true Barcelona,
Yeah.
it is a really nice shirt, and that would have probably come top of this list.
Yeah, definitely.
As
I do
it
like
is,
that.
the red one, again we've got the gradient with the yellow merging into the red above the V. Nice thin yellow V white outlines, looks really effective. Block red shirt, white sponsor, clean, tidy. Typical Catalan shirt.
I like it. Right,
And
what's
that
your
means
number 1?
Huddersfield have won the best away shirt.
Huddersfield.
Huddersfield. We've said before we like the purple. I think the orange stands out really nicely on it. Again,
Yeah,
Bond,
I do
it's
like
a tad questionable. But nice shirt.
I do like
Love
it.
the little mosaic tribal
that's it,
pattern.
yeah.
Certainly on the bottom of the shirt. I can't tell if it goes all the way up yet. And to end this, we all say I'm biased. The worst away shirt of 2020 belongs to Leeds Rhinos.
We hate rhinos.
For me,
I think it's alright to be fair.
the jagged stripe gradient looks clunky. I'd have liked to have seen a more solid dark blue at the bottom fading up to the lighter ocean blue that we've had the last few years, particularly on last year's away.
Yeah, I
kit.
liked that one last year, yeah.
That, I think the white going all the way down would have looked fine if it had gone from it. It's the light blue in the middle that I don't get on with.
Yeah.
Around the sponsor logo. There's not really a sponsor to argue with. It ties in fairly well. The yellow doesn't really go.
Yeah, but I think
I like global in pink. That's a really nice standout on white. But the midriff of the design for me,
I can see where you're coming from. But I think
especially it's worth noting as well of the 10 away kits we've seen. I've not really found any that I don't like something.
they're all
about.
a bit different, aren't they? They're all a bit. They're all in a way it should be. They're just a bit different. They're a bit
Ones
different.
that were lucky to avoid bottom. St Helens, again, not a bad shirt, but
I like them all. To be honest, I think
cash converters on the blue doesn't really work. The white maybe a bit washed out. And actually, the top of the home shirt's Hull FC. The weird dark blue navy block parallelogram thing down the middle.
Yeah, it does look nice. That'll look good in person.
It's an interesting kit. It should look nice in person. Didn't quite make the top 5. I think that covers everything I've got to say on kits, and that's probably the place to wrap up this week's podcast.
So we know it's been, I imagine about 45
minutes.
So we're aiming about 45 minutes to an hour. This obviously we'll have more to talk about in terms of like what's happening actually in the game, but yeah, like we said, make sure you check us out on YouTube because we'll have other clips on there that aren't on the podcast as well. Just subscribe on like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen, and just post on his Facebook page and his Twitter as well. Like we will literally reply to every message and everything we get because obviously we're only like small now.
Yeah.
So just any sort of interaction you want to have with us.
Any ideas you've got for future videos, be it as part of a podcast feature on there. I'm conscious that we're probably going to run out of battery very shortly, so it seems a good place to
wrap it up. Right.
Like, share, subscribe, comment any ideas.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Have some more before the new season. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you.
Or listening.